Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. My name is Elia Esparza for those of you who are new here, and today's video is going to be all about travel tips. Okay, so I've been traveling for the past 6 months, about every 2 weeks, both on planes and on road trips. So I've gathered some tips together that I've learned along the way because I take travel very seriously. I love streamlining things, and I also love being prepared and, you know, just making adventures and travel, whether it's for fun or for business, just like making the most out of it without having to worry about things that I forgot or things that I should be aware of. I just love streamlining travel, especially finding new hacks, new tips, and things like that. So I love videos like that, so I decided to make one because I feel like these tips are very helpful and you can apply them to basically any trip that you're gonna go on. I'm coming at you from a super comfy place, y'all. Like, I've got my turmeric tea, I've got a giant sweater on. Today's the first day of fall, so I'm very like in the vibe of feeling comfy and cute. My first tip would be to plan your outfits. Number one, it just makes everything so much easier. So doing a little bit of research of like how the weather's gonna be, the landscape, what you're gonna be doing, activities. You know, if it's like a beach vacation, obviously you're gonna need bathing suits and cover-ups and sandals and things like that. But if you're going skiing, or if it's gonna be super cold, or if it's gonna be a variety of weather, then you need to plan ahead. I like planning my outfits not specifically for events, maybe just like, okay, if we go to dinner, I have an outfit to go out, I have a pair of jeans, a leather jacket. Also, as someone who likes to take Instagram photos and make TikToks and reels and all that fun stuff, I know I'm gonna be creating content while I'm traveling, but if you're not planning to do that, that might not even be a concern to you. And in that case, I suggest at least taking your favorite basics. So this could be your favorite pair of jeans, a white and black tank top or t-shirt, a pair of shorts depending if the weather permits, and 2 to 3 pairs of your favorite shoes. So sneakers, sandals, and maybe a nicer pair for like going out to dinner. They don't have to be heels necessarily, but maybe a nice pair of sandals or something like that. Sorry guys, had to completely shift where I was filming because the lighting was just like not it, and the window shades and everything. So anyways, also another pro tip is to snap a photo while you're trying everything on at home, so you have a photo reference to what your outfits are and what you brought. And this also helps when packing, just so you don't forget anything, just in case you do laundry or something. And making an album on your phone is just chef's kiss. It's so helpful. My second tip is to bring your own snacks and food and vitamins. Personally, I love having healthy options with me, food that I know that isn't going to make me bloated or gassy or uncomfortable in any way. Like, I love having the foods that I regularly eat along with my supplements, like my Array capsules, which help with bloating, and my vitamins just to keep my immune system high while I'm traveling, because I'm usually not eating as much as I usually do, or maybe I'm eating more than I usually do. So having my snacks in the in-between times, you know, when you're just like, it's 10 p.m., everything is closed and you need a snack, or let's say you're in the middle of a 4-hour flight and you don't want to just have the pretzels that Southwest gives you, it's nice to be able to have like a high protein snack to keep yourself satiated, or you're on the go. Maybe you don't even have time to get food. This also saves you money, in my opinion. A lot of the time the airports are overpriced and they're not giving you a very healthy option or meal. It just depends. Some airports are better about this and some have healthier options, but a lot of the time it's your basic kind of grab and go type of food, and a lot of it's filled with like extra sugar and things like you just don't need, and a lot of it's processed. When it comes to flying, you are allowed to bring food. So I will go as far as bringing meal preps if I can, at least 1 or 2 if I know I'm gonna be flying and then heading to a hotel or a friend's house afterwards where I can put it in the fridge and it's not gonna be too long. I will take like chicken and carrots and maybe like half of an avocado with a lemon. That's like my go-to. And I will bring fruit as well. So if I have a really early morning flight, I will cut up some strawberries, blueberries, almonds, rice cake, add some almond butter, or bring an almond butter packet, and I'll put it in a bento box and have it later in the morning. Like maybe I'll be flying super early and I'll have an in-between, like a stop in Austin or somewhere, and I'm able to have something light and refreshing, but it's real food. So I like to stick to real food if possible, and you are allowed to bring real food, like solid foods on the plane. You can even bring closed yogurt. Fun fact that I've learned. When it comes to road trips, I will go the extra mile to meal prep some of my meals, at least for the day or two that I'm going on a trip, especially because I can bring an ice chest and fill it up with all of my favorite snacks, everything portioned out. And most gas stations have a microwave where you can just pop in your meal prep, heat it up for a minute, and you're ready to go. And if you need utensils, salt and pepper, condiments, things like that, most gas stations have them. I just personally don't like eating fast food. Like, that's just my preference. I hate, like, I can't do it. I can't do the gas station food. I can't do the fast food. And as someone who's like really health conscious and I like to stay as fit and healthy as possible while traveling, I will bring my own food. I'll bring fresh fruit. They sell these giant, I just did this on a road trip. They sell these giant vegetable trays, and it's literally just like carrots, zucchini, red bell peppers, broccoli, asparagus, all of the things, whatever your preference is as far as veggies and fruit, bring them along. And I'll also bring high protein snacks as well, like Greek yogurt, almonds, hard-boiled eggs if you're into that. I don't like hard-boiled eggs, but I know that's a great high protein snack. And if you can put an ice chest and bring it with you, to me, it's worth it. Not only are you saving money, but you're saving yourself from a highly processed meal that is just not gonna be super healthy for you. And if that's something you look forward to, maybe, get your favorite bag of chips, or I always bring dark chocolate with me as well. So just bringing your own stuff that you love, especially on a road trip where it's a lot easier, more manageable to do, I would definitely recommend that. My third tip would be to do some research on the city that you're headed to. I spoke about this earlier about like knowing what the weather is going to be like and the landscape and everything. And that's just so helpful when it comes to packing. But I also mean in terms of like restaurants that the locals like to go to, coffee shops, maybe shopping experiences, venues where you can check out live music, whatever you're into. Maybe there's, so usually like maybe about a week or so before my trip, I will do some research, make reservations for any events or plans that I want to make, maybe a restaurant. Most restaurants in big cities do require reservations, or you're not going to be able to get a table a lot of the time, that I've learned, especially now. I feel like I just made reservations for my birthday in 2 weeks and everything was almost packed. So highly recommend, just do your research. Went to New York with a couple of my girlfriends, and even though I used to live there for 6 years, I still made a kind of like a skeleton itinerary to see what we're gonna do each day to see the most efficiently and also just enjoy ourselves as well without like losing our minds. I always like checking out the coffee shops in a lot of cities just because I love coffee and matcha and tea and all that stuff. So I like checking out the local spots that I can at least stop by in the morning if the rest of the day is planned for me. But that's something that I love doing. It's just creating like a skeleton itinerary. It helps so much. Also, this helps when you have a little bit of downtime and you're like, what should we go do? Or what should I go do if you're traveling solo? And you can refer to this list and be like, okay, how far am I from this? Or can I make it to this cute coffee shop? Or can I go to this concert later tonight? My fourth tip would be to always pack a bathing suit, even if it's the dead of winter, even if you're going to Alaska or somewhere freezing like Iceland or something. I always bring a bathing suit. You never know when you're gonna jump in a jacuzzi or quick trip to the beach, or all of a sudden, you're gonna go surfing. So this has happened to me many occasions where I did not plan to go to the pool or the beach, and all of a sudden we're heading to one of those. So always pack a bathing suit and some sandals. I like to bring sandals in general just for like my hotel room, or even if I'm staying at a friend's house or at an Airbnb, I'm always wearing sandals inside. Especially if you're not at home. Bring sandals. Bring sandals and bring a bathing suit. My next tip would be to always bring an extra pair of clothes that you have physically on hand with you. So if you're going on a plane and you're checking in a bag, or even if you have your roller bag, I like to have an extra pair of leggings, a tank top, underwear, socks, and a bra maybe, depending, either in my backpack or in my bag that I'm bringing with me as my my personal item that will go under the seat, because you never know, okay? Like, you seriously never know. Ladies, sometimes you're surprised and you don't know that you're gonna start that time, and you start that time halfway through your flight. So there's this one time that I spilled water all over my pants and I was soaked. And luckily I had an extra pair of leggings, so I just went to the bathroom and changed, and they were right there, easy to get to. So even if you have your carry-on with you, it's a lot more difficult to open it up, look for the stuff and get it all. I just like to have an extra pair of clothing in general. Also, if you get your suitcase lost, which has happened to me, it's nice to at least have some fresh underwear It's nice to at least have some fresh underwear. My sixth tip, I think this is my sixth tip, would be to share your location with either a family member, a friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, someone you trust, because especially if you're traveling alone, but even if you're not traveling alone, I think it's just a safety precaution, especially nowadays, because we hear so many stories of things happening, with Ubers and all of that. So I like to share my location with my boyfriend and my parents, and I always text them when I'm in an Uber, a taxi, a Lyft, whatever it is. I'll send them the license plate, I'll send them where I'm going. I'll give them kind of a rundown of what my day is looking like and where I'll be, just in case. Because if my phone dies and my parents or my boyfriend try to get a hold of me and they can't, at least they have an idea, and hopefully nothing's happened, at least they have an idea of where I was. So yeah, I just think sharing your location is an extra precaution that you should take, especially in today's day, guys. So you can never be too safe. That's all I'm gonna say. My next tip would be to choose an airline that you love. Personally, I love Southwest. I don't have a credit card or anything with them, but I've been flying with them so much, and I love building my points because I'm almost at A-list, and then eventually you can get into bringing a travel buddy for free. So depending on which airline you love and which is most convenient for you in your city, I would definitely stick to building that point system up with like maybe 1 or 2 airlines depending where you are. I also love the fact with Southwest that I can literally go on the app and instantly change my flight if I need to, up to 10 minutes before my actual flight. So that's incredible. Can't tell you how handy this has come to be, especially when I'm like, you know what, I'm ready to leave. I'm gonna change my flight. I'm gonna leave tomorrow morning, or I really wanna stay an extra day, so I'm gonna change it to another day. Another side tip is if you purchase a flight and then you check the app and the flights have gone down, you can actually rebook it and get your money back for the difference that it is, maybe 10, 15, up to $100. I've done this so many times. I'll just like randomly check on my app of flights that I've already purchased, and I will get a cheaper rate if the flight goes down, or maybe you see another flight that is a lot cheaper that you'd get. Maybe I've gone up to like $100 back on this, and you can use those funds for a future flight or changing your future flights, because it's my new side hobby to do that. Next tip would be to book directly with the airline or hotel that you are going to be using. I don't use Expedia, I don't use Kayak, I don't do any of those third-party sites because I've had so many issues where, you know, my flight was canceled or delayed, or I needed to make changes and I would have to go through, let's say Expedia, but then they would say, well, you have to go through the airline, and then I talk to the airline, and it's just the runaround, and you can't get a lot done when that's happening, especially if you're at the airport, like in your travel, and maybe they're canceling your flight or they're gonna delay you. It's just so much easier when you book directly with them. And same goes for a hotel. You can cancel a hotel up to sometimes the same day, maybe like that morning or 2 hours before your check-in and things like that. And you just never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes you're delayed, sometimes you have to cancel your entire trip. So I like just having that security of being able to be in control and talk to someone directly with, like, let's say Southwest, and they are so helpful, or whatever hotel that I'm staying at. You know, I had planned to go to a wedding last year and I wasn't able to make it, but I was able to cancel my hotel reservation with no fees. Just make sure you always read the fine print on their website when you're booking anything. Okay, we're almost done, I promise. So my next tip would be to always be aware of your surroundings, especially as a woman, but as a human being. And this is kind of just a life tip, not just when you're traveling, but especially when you're traveling, because if you're not familiar with certain areas or, you know, places that you're going to, you have to be vigilant of where you are. You know, get your eyes off of your phone. Make sure you know where you're going. Don't be afraid to, you know, ask the locals and things like that. But I just think with today's day and age, we have to be super, super aware of our surroundings, especially when it comes to Ubers and Lyfts and all that crazy stuff, because I've seen way too many stories and I've seen a lot of people get robbed. I've personally been robbed in LA, which was terrible, but luckily I was safe. There's just so many crazy things happening that I feel like this has to be a tip of just, you know, lock the doors, lock the windows. You could even go as far as, you know, if you're staying at an Airbnb, to check for cameras, because I've heard several stories on that as well. That hasn't happened to me personally that I know of, thank goodness, but just stay vigilant, you know. Maybe it's not safe to go for a hike or a walk in, you know, the neighborhood that you're staying in, even if it looks safe. You know, you gotta kind of, again, that goes back to the research of like where to stay, crime rates, safer areas, things like that. So just stay vigilant and stay aware of your surroundings. That's just a life tip. And my last tip would be to have an open mind when you are traveling. I know this sounds a little bit cheesy and kind of like of course I'm gonna have an open mind, but really be open to, you know, experiences, trying new things, meeting new people. You never know what can happen on your travels, and sometimes it can be a really magical, awesome experience, especially if you're going somewhere far away from your home, maybe another country. So keep an open mind when you're traveling. Be open to things constantly changing. I can't tell you how many times I make a plan and it doesn't always go to plan, but sometimes that's a good thing. So just go with the flow, keep an open mind, stay vigilant of your surroundings, and happy travels, guys. I hope these tips helped you, and let me know in the comments if you have any travel tips of yourself. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps my channel so much. And please, please, please subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, which I am so excited about. And I love you guys. I will see you guys in the next video, and let me know if you want to see some more travel content type of videos, okay? I love you guys. Bye.